Welcome to another bonus episode of Escape This Podcast. This is not, if you're new to the show, hi, welcome. This isn't the episode for you. Sorry if you're new. This is your first episode. Go away. This is not what we do usually.
Whoa.
I'm saying if this is the first episode, go a
You're
couple
not
back.
going to get a good impression of what our show usually is by doing that, true. But before we come into a new season, maybe people want to warm up.
Well, look, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a show where usually we have guests on to play through escape rooms. That's not happening today. So if you're like, what's this cool escape room podcast all the buzz has been about? And then you come to this episode
that's
and you
not
think
right.
this is what we do. This isn't what we do. This is a bonus episode. We're not really, I don't know if we have a huge amount of a plan for this episode. It's just something for you to keep having episodes while we're on our break between seasons. We recently, when we were buying Christmas presents,
So, a month ago.
also just sort of found in a secondhand bookstore a book that we bought for ourselves. It is, I don't even know, I suppose the most similar thing this book is to something we've had before is when we've talked about doing puzzles from the Penguin Book of Puzzles.
Yeah.
A collection of like just brain teasers and puzzles and conundrums and
That's
maths things
exactly what this one pits itself as. It's called Enigma, the big book of brain teasers and games of logic. Now, the funny thing that I notice about this one, it is themed. It's got puzzles and all of the usual riddles and things like that, but they have heavily themed it to be King Arthur-esque.
I was going to say, I haven't looked through this book. I just saw it and I thought, hey, I should show this to Danny. I think she'll love it. It looks like it does have a sort of medieval
Yeah, look
setting.
at how pretty it is.
It's very fancy font. It looks like that old, when you see monks, and they're from the 1200s and they're copying out new books and they have those massive first letters that they draw little dragons in and things like that. That, when that happens. That's what this book looks like.
Yeah. I'll give you an example from page 6. So it's called Love Potion, this riddle. And the L is mega stylized. It's a big old L. It looks ribbony. It's got a person in it. And the puzzle is Merlin has to make a love potion for King Arthur. He has 2 pots, one that holds 5 liters, one that holds 3 liters, but he needs exactly 4 liters of oil of toad. How is he going to do it?
So they put no effort into creating new puzzles. They've just taken the puzzles from everywhere else.
Again, this was just the first one that caught my eye as an example of theming your standard riddles.
So we're going to talk about this book. We're going to maybe do some puzzles. Should I get like a pen and paper?
Maybe that'll be useful. I'm not sure.
I'm going to grab a pen and a paper.
I don't know what we're in for.
I'm going to grab precisely 1 pen and a lot of papers. But what they've done with the papers is they've sort of bound them all together into one large book of papers that I could write in or on, which makes it a lot easier for me. So I'm going to grab those. I have returned.
Okay.
So, what is the plan? Are you going to just try and find me a puzzle and I'll try and solve it?
I think that's what we're going to have to do. Now, the first one that I found, they do have solutions in there. I have not looked at them.
Okay.
Which means that this first one that I have randomly turned to is really messing with my head, and I would like you to look at it. It's page 47, Strange Equality. The question that it is asking is, in what historical era was this equation proved? And I would like you to take a look at it.
Oh, that just seems like a history trivia
The rest
question.
there is pictures. Oh, it's definitely not. No, 47.
Okay, so that's it. That's the whole text. In what historical era was this equation proved? Now, the 2 pictures that I see are a pumpkin, maybe as being worn as a helmet by a person.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
notice.
it kind of looks like there's
I didn't
shoulders
notice that.
beneath. Don't you think? Like it's a man with a pumpkin head, like a jack-o'-lantern skeleton.
I think it's just sitting on a little hill.
Maybe, I don't know. So it's a little carved pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. It's vibrating with mystical energy. I don't know if that's true, but it's at some kind of vague lines around it. And then it has equals, and then what looks like Christmas, effectively, because
It's a bauble.
It's a bauble. It's got stars and planets and things on it, but it looks like a bauble you would hang from a Christmas tree. There's a question mark over the equals sign, and then beneath it, it does say 31 oct equals 25 deck. As in Halloween, pumpkin, 31 oct, equals Christmas, bauble, 25 deck.
Yeah.
And in what historical era was this equation proved?
What does this mean?
I have no idea. Unless it's like, before we had the Claudian or the Gregorian calendar, when we used the old calendars, that used to be that Halloween and December were the same day. But that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I am baffled enough by this. I've got to look it up to see where they're coming from.
While Danny's looking this up,
Oof.
is it ridiculous? Is it like that's not a puzzle? What are you talking about? Or are we supposed to? Could I work if I start getting real into this? Could I work this out?
You could work this out.
Like if I wrote down Halloween and then Christmas and then cross-reference the letters.
No, in the question, in what historical era, that means nothing. It's just saying, hey, what's going on here?
Okay, so we're just saying what's going on here.
Yeah.
Jack-o'-lantern equals bauble. Halloween equals Christmas. Are there specific words that I need here?
No.
Okay.
The illustrations are just for illustrative purposes, in fact.
So really what I want to know is that Halloween equals Christmas.
No.
The 31 of October
Yes.
equals the 25th of December.
Yeah.
Okay. 3-1 could be BA. BA oct.
Why would that be BA?
Sorry, CA. CA oct equals BE deck. Ka-oct. Bedeck. The 31st letter of October. No. Is it to do with they're the same day of the week?
No.
Cool, because that would be silly. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Now, I thought this episode was going to be easy and chill and relaxing.
I just happened to open up to this one that completely threw me. The others, hoping they'll be easier.
I have no idea if this book is even available to buy. We found it in a secondhand bookstore.
I had no idea.
I don't know. No description of when the book was made or when it came out. It just goes. There's no like publisher information page.
Wow.
It just goes straight into it. It's by.
It must be though, because we saw 2 copies of it in the store.
Yeah, that is true. It is by Fabrice Matza, Sylvain Lullier, and illustrations by Ivan Sig. I don't know why Fabrice Matza gets a bigger name than Sylvain Lullier, but they do. Unless that's what they are. I'm Fabrice Matza. I'm a Sylvain Lullier. I make puzzles in Italian. I have no idea.
Would you like me to tell you about this?
Ooh.
Oh, it's at the back.
Oh, okay, recent book.
Oh, really?
Published in 2008. There you go.
Lovely.
So we'll see if we can find copyright 2006. Yeah, maybe we'll see if we can find a link to it and put it in the show notes so you can all buy a copy of this fun book. Unless, of course, you hate the solution to this puzzle. I've got no idea. What do I need to do?
All right. The illustration, I would go so far as to say, is deceptive.
Because it's not about Halloween. It's not about Christmas.
Correct.
It's about 30... Are these dates?
No.
They're not dates?
No.
Okay, 31 oct equals 25 deck. Oh, is it about bases?
Yep.
Is 25 in base 10 the same as 31 in base
Yep.
8? Oh, I love that. Don't know why that's a historical error.
No, I don't know why that's the question they've got. In the answers, they explain it, and they have said, in any era.
Get out of here.
Which seems rude.
That's incredibly rude, but the puzzle was fun.
All right, let's just start at the start. Oh, the love potion one was the very first one.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to do that one.
No, we know how to do that.
You
puzzle.
pour things.
You pour the things. They
you
go
pour
into
things
the
into each other.
The jugs.
Et
There's
cetera.
3. There's 5. You get a 2 and a 1 and a 4, and it's a whole big thing.
Oh no! The next one, the very second riddle, is one of these ones that you might see in a maths class that I hate.
Really?
Because it explodes my brain until someone explains it. Then I go, okay, that makes perfect sense. And then a week later, it explodes my brain again.
Okay, explode my brain and the brains of all of our listeners. If you're driving, pull over because your brain will explode and we can't be held responsible for what happens after that.
Water in the wine. You have 2 completely identical tankards.
Okay.
150 mils of wine in one, 150 mils of water in the other.
Sounds good to me.
You take a spoonful of liquid from the water one and put it in the wine one. Then using the same spoon, you take a spoonful of the wine one and put it back into the water one. Is there more water in the wine or more wine in the water?
This is one of those wild ones. And I feel like the answer is just the same. But I'm going to draw some diagrams to help myself.
You want the answer to be the same.
Yeah, I think it's something silly like that. But let's think. I have 150 mils of water. You know what? I'm changing it up to make it simple for myself.
Nicer numbers, 100.
I've got 100 mils of water and 100 mils of wine. And let's say a teaspoon is 20 mils.
Okay.
It isn't. Let's make this up.
Okay.
So, and I got water on the left, wine on the right. What's the first teaspoon from?
Water.
So I now have in the water 80 mils of
water.
water, and in the wine I have 100 mils water and 120 mils. Sorry, 100 mils of wine, 20 mils of water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm currently sitting at. So
Okay.
as of now, there's a lot of that's the sit 80, 120 water and wine.
All right.
Then the next step is I take a teaspoon of the other
Yeah,
thing.
so you're now taking 20 mils, which would presumably, I think 10 would have been easier for this than 20.
Probably.
Because 20 is now going to be, what, 1/6 of the first thing?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let's think. So now I've got 120 mils of a water wine mix,
Mhm.
which is, I guess, yeah, I did this poorly.
Change it to 10 instead of 20.
Okay.
So 90 and 10. Dividing by 10 is easy.
Yeah. So I've got 110 mils of water wine. I'm taking 20 out.
10.
I'm taking 10 out,
Yep.
which probably leaves me with, let's say, 91 mils of wine and one.
Wait, why?
Sorry. 101 mils of wine
Why?
and 9 mils of water.
Okay. Sure. And just explain that, because again, every step of this can be a brain breaker.
So I'm assuming it's like I've now got 110 mils all mixed together. So if I take 10 mils out of that, you could say I'm taking an equal amount of, like, an equal, like, fraction of the water and the wine. So you would assume that it would divide up in the same way. Although 9 mils and 1 mils isn't the same way, is it? That'd make more sense if I had 100 mils. So I've got that math
You're
wrong.
taking 1/11th out. This is still going to be ugly, aren't
Yeah,
you?
man.
So
why
wouldn't
am
it
I
be
doing
1/11th of both of them?
this? Yes, it should be. Oh, I hate this. Tell you what.
This is just maths.
It's just math.
This
It's the
is
same. It's
weird.
the same in the end. That's it. It's a
You
puzzle. It's the
reckon?
same.
Seemed a little ugly there to end up being the same. But no, you're definitely right. They went with 80-20.
80-20 is easy because you end up with 100% on the other side. That makes more sense.
I don't know if I... Wait, hold on. I don't know if I agree with their reasoning, but I'm trying to read it fast. So they're saying, let's say that... No, wait, they're saying at the end, suppose that the first tankard at the end of the process contains 80% water and 20% wine, and they're working backwards.
What an odd
What?
supposition.
And they're saying, so where's the other 20% of water? It must be in the other tankard.
Yeah, they're saying you don't need to work it out. They're just saying,
That whatever is not in one of them must be in the other, so
I
it
suppose so.
balances?
Have the same equal
God
amount
damn
to start
it.
with.
I hate this.
However
I hate
much
this puzzle
wine-
so much.
If they end up with the same amount overall, whatever's missing from one must be in the other, and therefore vice versa. I don't know.
I
It's one of those
guess.
weird puzzles. It's deliberately
I
a
knew
puzzle
I
because it's
hated this one.
counterintuitive, but also logical. There you
The
go.
idea of starting at the back is...
Starting at the end is wild. I mean,
Oh,
save
it
them doing all
didn't
the
occur
stupid
to
maths
me.
that I was trying to do.
No, yep, absolutely.
I shouldn't have had any numbers at all. I should have just done it with X's and Y's.
Oh. All right, next one is a nice, easy one. Bicycle race. During a bicycle race, Roland overtakes the rider in second place, and then, just as he's approaching the finish line, he's overtaken by two competitors. In what place does he finish? So he overtakes the rider in second place, and then gets overtaken by two competitors.
So when he overtakes the rider who is in second place, that puts him in second place,
Mhm.
not first place.
Correct.
He is now in second place, and then he is overtaken by two riders, putting him in fourth place. The answer is fourth place.
Cool.
And they were just trying to trick me by saying that when he overtakes whoever's in second, it puts him in first, is the trick, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard
These are all
trick.
standard puzzles. We've seen them all before, except I hadn't seen the Halloween Christmas one, which was fun.
This one I feel like I can get a handle on. After this one, maybe I'll just start flicking to random pages. It takes Quasimodo the bell ringer at Notre Dame 3 seconds to ring 4 o'clock. How long will it take him to ring midday?
So this is on the basis that it takes him 3 seconds to ring the bell 4 times.
Yes.
So you would assume, because he does that 3 times in a row, the reasonable answer would be 9 seconds to ring for midday. Right? Because he has to do the 4 o'clock ring 3 times. Right? To get to 12 rings. But that's not a puzzle.
Interesting.
That's not what you would have thought?
That's
going
not, honestly, that's not what I would have thought at all. But, no, we're coming at it from very different ways.
Because I'm saying he rings the bell.
Sure.
Dong, dong.
So you're saying it takes him a bit under a second to do each bell ring?
Yeah, it takes him 3 seconds to ring 4 times. If he's ringing 12 times, you would assume the answer is 9, but obviously you would assume that's not true because it's a puzzle, not a very, very simple addition.
My interpretation was a little different, which was, well, how long does it take him to ring it once? No time at all. He just goes dong and it's done. 0 seconds. And it's the gap between bells that takes the 3 seconds, of which there would be 3.
That to me seems utterly insane.
Really?
You're saying it like you start counting from when the first one has rung?
Yeah, I mean, from when he has pulled a thing. Yes, that is the starting
So you're saying
point.
the first one takes 0 seconds.
Yeah, but then to get from 1 to 2 takes 1 second. Because that's when the real gap between bell rings
True,
is.
but imagine if someone said, how long does it take you to ring 1 o'clock? And he said, no time at all. What are you talking about? That doesn't take, it literally, I've never once spent any time ringing 1 o'clock.
You wouldn't time it. How long does it take you to turn on a light switch?
Well, see, my question was going the other way and saying, well, how much of those 3 seconds is taken up with him getting to the bell, realizing it's 4 o'clock, walking over to the bell? I think if you start counting from 0, then the concept that it literally takes no time. There is no time spent on ringing the bell for 1 o'clock, so he may as well not do it. If he didn't spend any time doing it, may as well not ring at all.
I'm just saying, I was picturing it like distances between fence posts.
What's wrong with puzzles? Why does everyone do puzzles? Why do we know all these people in the puzzle world now? It's all silly.
Well, let's take a look at the answer. The 3 seconds it takes to ring 4 o'clock correspond to the interval between each stroke,
It's
not
ridiculous.
the number of strokes.
But this is based on the assumption that it literally doesn't take him time to ring 1 o'clock, which is an insane thing to say.
But the entire reason that you have to do it that way is because if it's not measuring the intervals, then why wouldn't it just be dung, 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 done? Because that's
that
not
takes him
bell
4
ringing.
seconds.
That's not ringing a bell.
It takes him 4 seconds to do all that. What about that time when he's reaching up to the bell and getting ready to ring it and pulling it and it hasn't rung yet because he has to pull the bell? That's in nonsense time. The time doesn't happen.
Yes.
That's silly.
Well, I'm just
That's
saying.
like when people are saying,
I got it right.
It's like saying oh, how much time does it take to write your name? And starting from when the name's finished, or starting from after you finish the first letter. Like, well, obviously the B is no time at all. It doesn't mean any time to write a B, because that's not my name yet. In fact, I and L, those aren't my names either. The L, up until it gets to about there, that's not even a letter yet. So how long does it take me to write my name? Here I go. Done. That was it. I just finished the L. The rest of that wasn't my name yet. Why are we counting? Surely all the time leading up to the third bell stroke was not leading to him ringing 4 o'clock. He was still ringing 3 o'clock at the wrong time. And it wasn't until after the third bell rang, so really it takes him 3 seconds to ring the bell once. To ring just before. It's a silly puzzle, everybody. And I'll not stand for it.
I don't know what to tell you. I got it. All right, I gotta...
Breaking news. Danny thinks she's figured out why we're dumb.
Yeah, so several days later, after going through those puzzles, this Quasimodo bell ringing thing, it just occurred to me while we were debating it out loud again that it has nothing to do with the first bell.
It's all about the final bell?
Yeah, you do indeed have to ring the first bell and then wait for the first bell to be done. That's gap 1. It's the last bell, where as soon as you've rung it, no more waiting required, you can walk away. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I still think he rang 4 bells. But get back to the episode. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. If you didn't like that puzzle, call in. We're taking calls now, live.
This one comes with a hint. I don't want it to come with a hint.
Then no, give me the hint.
All right.
You are in full control.
Flick to a random one.
I will.
Square of matches. 4 matches are arranged in the shape of a cross. Just a regular old plus sign.
Okay.
How can you make a square by only moving 1 match?
I've already made a square. Look at the bases of the matches. Look at the negative space between those 4 matches that are making a cross. I'm not going to move any matches. I've made the square. It's there in the negative space.
No,
that's the answer. I saw that picture.
You didn't make negative space, Bill.
I made the negative space.
Nah.
Okay, so I got to make a square by moving just 1 match? Can I use the match to move the other matches?
Nope.
Because I didn't move those, the match did.
No, there's nothing weird in that way.
Can I take the match, break it?
No.
Oh, this is a good idea. I had a good idea.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You snap the match in half,
Uh-huh.
and then you place it at one end halfway up one of the other matches, the other end halfway up one of those matches, and you make a square there that's half the space, half the length of a match on each side. That's a perfect answer. I've solved it. I've given you 2 solutions so far to this puzzle that are as viable as the real solution.
You know how escape rooms work. No breaking.
This isn't an escape room. It's a book of medieval puzzles.
No breaking.
Okay, how else would I make a square? Well, I can't. It can't be done. So I take one match. No, that wouldn't work. Nah, can't be done.
Would you like the clue?
Yeah, sure.
The word square has more than one meaning.
No, it doesn't. Oh, I see. So you would take the match on the right and you put it vertically at the tip of the match on the left to make the big number 4, which is 2 squared.
That's exactly right.
It is a square number.
Yep.
That's fair. I mean, my 2 solutions were better, but I'm no bell ringing Quasimodo.
I wonder how sciencey this one's going to get for the next puzzle. Magnetism. You have 2 iron cylinders. They are, I don't know why this is relevant yet, 15 centimeters in length and a base 1 centimeter diameter. They're strictly identical, with the sole difference being that one of the 2 is magnetized at both ends and the other isn't. You're in a closed room. Only furniture is a wooden table. You have no metallic objects apart from these cylinders. How can you tell which one is magnetized? Is this going to be something like you just put them on the table and the magnetic one's going to roll because the Earth is a magnet? Is this something weird like that?
Probably because, like,
I don't know physics that well.
It's got a north and a south. It's probably going to point like a compass.
Mm-hmm.
Surely it's going to point like a compass in some description.
Yeah, this is just straight up
You put them in
bit
water,
of physics.
so they're floating.
I'm
and
not
then it will-
aware
and
of
then
this
it will
physics.
turn to-
You don't have any water, but it's getting like that. What?
So let's just use one of them like a compass.
You arrange them in a T shape. If not, like one sitting on top of the other, by the looks of it. If nothing happens, it means that the magnet is the bar that forms the horizontal one. If they're attracted or repelled, the magnet is the one that forms the vertical. It does not explain why.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
No,
Let me have a look.
that's all they've got.
Oh, like a T, like one. So one's vertical.
Sitting on top of the other.
That's so strange.
I wish they explained a little more about why that works.
Yeah, they should explain a bit
This
more
seems
about
like
the
a very
science
simple
behind that.
physics experiment that I have not seen before.
This is what? So hold on. One cylinder is on its end, long, very tall, and the other one is sitting horizontally across the top of it. And they're saying that if nothing happens, which one's the magnet?
The horizontal one.
Okay. Don't know why. but
No,
sure.
I have no idea why. Can you Google this?
No.
Why?
I don't know how. Okay, I'll Google. Like, what am I? You give me the words. 2
Iron cylinders.
iron
Magnet T-shape.
cylinders, magnet T shape. No.
Oh.
No. No, we'll have to look at this up some other way, some other time. It's going to be too complicated to Google to do in the middle of an episode.
Man.
But if the bottom one's magnetic, the top one will spin or move?
It's just something will happen if they're attracted or repelled.
That's so strange.
I don't get it.
No, that doesn't. I don't get it at all.
These are weird life skills.
Is it just saying that the magnet would interact with iron in some form? Like non-magnetic iron? Because iron reacts to magnets, right?
Then why? I mean,
So it's saying you're basically isolating one of the cylinders. So you're saying on the top cylinder, the one that's horizontal, neither of its polarized ends are touching the other metal, right? So we know that for the top one, if it's got polarized ends or not, like there's not going to be a magnetic reaction at all because there's no magnets from that one that are touching definitely. The other one, you're touching
so
with
the
one
answer is
end.
just make them touch each other.
Yeah, the answer is just put one end to the other.
That's it?
And then if it's magnetic, you'll either repel or attract the other cylinder because it's iron and it reacts to magnets.
And they're just so.
and put it to the middle of it because you
So
know
the
the
real
middle isn't
question
going to
that
be a
would have
magnet.
been helpful would have been to say, if you make the magnets if you make these iron cylinders touch each other, they will react. But how are you going to tell which one is the
Exactly.
cause?
So you make sure
Okay.
you touch one that could be magnetic, as in the end, to a part of the other one that definitely isn't magnetic.
Okay.
That being the center. That was the wildest way to explain this.
Yeah.
Make a T-shaped cylinder tower. Put them vertically. No, you touch one end that could be magnetic, and if you know, therefore, if there is a magnetic reaction, the one that you're using the end of must be the magnet. And if there's no magnetic reaction, well, there would have been if something was a magnet, so you know it must be the other one when you weren't using magnetic end.
in escape
That is
rooms-
just, that is wild.
In escape rooms, we have had plenty of occurrences that use magnets, and especially things that are hidden magnets that you don't expect. I love that. But the way that you solve that is always just, I don't know, touch stuff, poke
And that's
stuff.
what they said here.
And that's all it is. They just complicated it and turned it into a riddle.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just because iron is magnetic. Don't worry about it, everybody. We're moving on. We're jumping one more puzzle, and I'm going to pick a page. I'm not looking.
Oh no, I'm on a page.
Oh, okay. What's your
You
page?
can pick the next
I'll
one.
pick the next page.
My page is called The Sheep. An old shepherd says to his wife, "When I die, I would like our oldest son to receive half of my sheep, our second son a third,
Oh my
and finally our youngest son a ninth. When he dies, the shepherd has 17 sheep. No matter how hard they think, the sons can't see how to respect their father's wishes unless they carve up the sheep. In the end, it's an old shepherd, a friend of their father, who finds a solution to the problem. What does he suggest?"
Well, now that your father's dead, he doesn't own any sheep, and so you all get nothing. Half of the sheep he owns, well, he's dead. He owns no sheep. The sheep all go to me, the old friend. See you later, kids.
I would kind of assume that carving up the sheep would be the eventual goal.
Yeah, you're going to eat them anyway, probably.
All right, so what's the trick going to be here? I assumed it was going to be something like, the second son is the youngest son. But with 17 sheep, I
You
don't
still
see how
can't
we're doing
halve it.
anything. So what is a half and a third and a ninth? I'm sure we don't need to do
Sure,
that.
that adds up.
Maths
Does that-
hasn't been particularly helpful.
Yeah. So, a half.
Let's put it out of 18.
Yeah, okay, sure. Well, a half is 9 out of 18.
Mhm.
Plus a third is
6.
6 out of 18. Plus a ninth is
2.
2 out of 18,
Which I believe adds up to 17.
which is 17 out of 18.
Curious.
So you just pretend you had 18 sheep? Because the last one was going to go to nobody anyway.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it, doesn't it?
So that's 17 divisions of the group. So you just find one gets 9, one gets 6, one gets 2. That's a half. That is
Surely
a
that's not what they
third.
expect,
That is
though.
a ninth. And then the last sheep was never meant to go to anyone. It goes to the wife, you fools.
Yeah, I agree. But
And so just he just won't take. Is that basically what they've done? Because that's 17 parts.
the old shepherd lends the 3 sons a sheep, so then they can do the calculations, and they
And
end up
then
with
he-
17,
and then he takes the sheep
his
back.
own sheep
What a
back.
good guy.
Nice!
What a nice guy. So there you go. Now give me my sheep
He
back.
didn't lose
He
anything.
didn't lose anything.
That's great.
That's some sheep maths, everybody. That was
Okay.
ridiculous.
So why is it that one we could do easily
'Cause
compared to the others?
Because it proposed a question, which is, can you solve the puzzle of what he said? And when you do, it answers the puzzle. That's why. Because there was a puzzle in that one.
Yeah, that one felt like I was doing fun
Like,
math
that's because that
as
one
opposed to being
gave us,
tricked.
That's that one because that one gave us all the things that we needed to solve the puzzle, as opposed to the one where it was like, you should assume that Quasimodo can ring one bell in 0 seconds. Why would I assume this? That's why. This one gave us the info. All right, I'll pick one.
Yep.
I'm not going to look. I'm
Don't
picking
go
an-
too late in the book because the answers all have a page each.
Okay.
They're very prettily decorated.
Oh, really? So it's like the second half is all answers?
More or less, I'd say, yeah.
Well, then I'll go right here, right near the end.
Hopefully. Oh,
By
boy.
the end, I'm in the middle.
All right, this one's called Forest Fire. It looks like it's got maths,
Okay.
so this might be
We
suspicious.
just got a book of maths, everybody.
Yeah.
Of kind of
Suspicious maths.
Just suspicious maths.
Louis the Ninth, to date this, Louis the Ninth's troops enter an immense 50-kilometer long forest from the west and head east. Okay, you're with me so far.
Back in Louis the Ninth's time, people didn't use kilometers. That's why this person is the murderer.
I mean, I
I've solved
found
the-
it
I've
weird
solved the
that
2-minute
Merlin
mystery.
was using his 5-liter jug to make love
Yeah,
potion.
come on, use some period-appropriate measurements. How many leagues did they
That would be
travel?
ridiculous. I don't read the maths ones in Penguin Book of Puzzles because they're in old British units. Okay, so this army, 50-kilometer long forest, west to east, their maximum marching speed is 10 kilometers per hour. That day, the wind is blowing 80 kilometers per hour towards the east, the way that they're going. An hour later, enemy troops light a fire all along the western edge of the forest. The wind drives the fire eastwards at this 80 kilometers per hour. The king sees the fire will catch up with his troops before they have emerged from the forest. What does he do to save his men?
He cuts down trees so the fire doesn't spread. Just cuts down the forest.
Yeah,
He steps out of the forest to the side. He turns around and he blows as hard as he can to create a counterwind to blow the fire back.
So let's take a look at these numbers. Presumably they're going at maximum speed. They have gone 10 kilometers by the time the fire starts. So the fire is going at 80 kilometers per hour.
They're going at 10 kilometers an hour.
All right, so they have a 10-kilometer head start. So let's say 1 more hour has passed. They will have been completely
In 1
overtaken
hour,
already by
the
then.
fire will
They're
have gone
dead.
through the entire forest.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
You just wait it out. Fire will go past you.
Yeah. Do we need to know about the numbers? Do we need to know about fire? Or do we need to know about this weirdly rectangular forest?
Yeah, can they just get out of the forest but not through the forest? Can they just go to the nearest clearing?
I don't know what they're after from this. I'm going to take a look. And I'll see if it's something that we could conceivably get.
Yeah, you tell me if it's gettable. This is the way you solve puzzles, everybody. Danny is looking perplexed and curious. She furrows her brow as she looks at the answer. She seems somewhat impressed, but also bemused. Now her face looks sad and angry, as if the puzzle is an insult to her and the way she thinks. But she laughs. She laughs as if the puzzle is making her feel silly.
No.
What is the puzzle solution?
All right, so what were the things that you suggested?
Okay, it was either they just leave, but they don't go through the... Like, it's 50 kilometers long. How wide is it?
Good question. The fire looks like from the illustration it takes up all forest.
Okay. The next was they turn around and they just go out back the other way.
Where the fire is?
Yeah, why not? The other one was they turn around and they blow and they make the wind go the other way.
80-kilometer winds.
They cut
This is
down-
wild wind.
They cut down the forest so the fire can't
That's
spread.
closer to what they've gone with.
They dig a big pit and they hide in it.
No, that's further.
They get out, they climb to the top of the forest and they jump over the fire.
Also further.
They build their own fire
Yeah.
that would then spread right into them. What are you talking about?
Why? No, they don't spread it behind them.
Oh, they spread it in front of them.
Yeah.
And then they stand between the two fires.
And well, no, then they just walk, and I guess the assumption is, well, that backfire doesn't have anything to burn anymore.
Yeah, true, but their front fire is in front
It's
of them.
gone, apparently. Apparently it's gone through the forest and then vanished.
And nothing remained on fire. Once it's through,
Yep.
the forest is clear.
So now can you reinterpret all my facial expressions?
It's ridiculous. Imagine if someone's like, oh, there's a bushfire happening. Oh, don't worry. You just start your own bushfire, and then you follow that bushfire, and after a while, the bushfire from behind you... Like, that's not back burning. That's just ridiculous. Sure, you can fight fire with fire when you do early small fires to clear the underbrush so that the new fire doesn't spread as quickly, but that's not what's going on here.
I agree. I would not have considered
You don't just set the
this.
forest on fire to get yourself out of a forest fire.
It's one of those weird ones where it's like, oh no, you've just got to use the logic solution rather than any sort of mathsy solution. I'm just going,
Yeah, but that's not
yeah, but you
logical.
can't dig too far into logic in this.
The king set his own army on fire. At that point, any new fire would just be more of the same.
You just set lots of little fires on them until they become immune. One more. Let's see if we can find one and feel satisfied.
All right, let's feel
Like
satisfied.
I was happy with the sheep one.
I was happy with the October December. I
yeah,
like
that was
that.
fine.
All right, I'm going to pick this one. I've just put my hand into a random page, and Danny will now find one of the two puzzles on that page and tell me which one.
That one I know the answer to. So let's take a look at this other one first. Oh, come on. All right, these are two classics. One of them is always telling the truth and one always lying about two guards.
What would the other one say if I said that you suck?
Yep. All right, so let's go with this one, which, again, it's a classic, but I like it better, which is there's an angry king. He's captured his opponent and says, "Don't worry, I'll give you a chance to be pardoned. I'm going to put a black marble and a white marble inside a helmet."
Now, one of these marbles always tells the truth.
If you pull out the white one, you can go free. If you pull out the black one, I'll execute you. But a spy informs this prisoner that the king is cheating and there are only black marbles in there.
Okay.
So how does the prisoner get free?
Okay, hold on. Let's think about this.
What must he do to ensure his freedom while only drawing a single marble?
He gets a piece of paper and he draws a white marble. And he says, "Look, I drew a white marble. You're going to let me free." Like that. With that kind of annoying voice.
So you don't know this one? You aren't sure if you've heard? Okay.
Maybe I've heard it before, but I don't know it. So he's reaching into a helmet in which there are two marbles, but they are both black marbles. The marbles, if he draws a black one, he'll be executed.
Yep. I'm going to take a look at exactly how
And he
they've
can only draw
worded it.
one, and he needs to be set free. Death is the ultimate release. And so he pulled the black one, he's set free through execution. Is that the answer?
I'm going to tell you my version of the answer before I read theirs, just to see how closely they align.
So can I draw the marble from somewhere else?
No, you don't have another marble that you can cheat with.
Do I have any white spray paint?
Probably not.
Can I smash the marble?
Why?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, there is always a possibility that if you have a good enough reason, that could work.
I mean, I feel like you just draw both marbles and you're like, "What's up, king? What have you done? Come on, get out of here. These are both black. You cheated."
Yeah, but now you've also cheated, so you both get to die.
Good. At least I'd take him down with me. There's no way to draw a white marble from a hat with two black
That's
marbles
absolutely
in
true.
it. So I don't draw a marble. I draw a marble I've got it.
Your smashing idea could potentially work.
I dropped the helmet. Oh, black marbles came out. Hey, wait a minute here. What's going on here?
How much more of this do you want to do before
I take it out
answer?
and I close my hand over it. I'm like, "I got the white one." And when the king's like, "No, you didn't," I'm like, "How do you know?" And I say, "Well, show it to me." I'm like, "No, look the other one. You can see the other one in there is black."
There we go.
There we go. I've got it. So the other one's black, so I must have the white one.
My solution is cool. You pick up a marble and then, oops, clumsy you trip and throw it into the moat. And then you say, "That's okay. Let's just look at which one's left."
Yeah, that's it.
So let's take a look at exactly
take
how
it,
they got rid of the
and
marble.
then you say, "Look at the other marble. That'll prove that mine's white."
Yep, they went with a different approach to the same solution. The prisoner just needs to take a random marble and swallow it without looking at it. and then
they'll
look
be
at
like-
the one left.
And then they go, "Look, see, one left is black. You said there was one black, one white, and you're the king. You wouldn't lie to me, so I must have the white one." Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Swallowing it is not what I would have thought
I
of.
can't believe I stumbled on that by just being a butthead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, okay, I like that one. That's satisfying.
Yeah,
that's a strat.
One of your
That's
classics.
a real strat. That is self-defense tips for anybody. If you're ever being captured and ransomed and threatened with execution, if you don't pull the right marble, just remember this trick. One simple trick. You keep yourself safe. You take that marble.
The despotic
swallow
king
it.
will have to stand by his word.
Yeah, because what's he going to do? Not stand by his word? Sure, he just broke his promise and made it a whole trick to trick you, but now you call him on it. He can't look like a bad king in front of all of his servants. They'll all be like, "What a merciful king. He allowed him the white marble. What a true leader, a great and powerful man. We should follow him forever. I won't support the civil war and his brother whose claim to the throne is just as legitimate as this king's. I won't do that because he's such a beneficent king."
A what?
Beneficent king. Yeah, I'm making up a word. Like, I'm sure that's a word. Beneficent? Beneficent? Beneficent?
I don't
Like
know.
good.
Benevolent?
No, beneficent.
What?
It's probably a word.
You know what? Sure.
There's a lot of words in English.
You draw one for me because even though I've been solving them as well and I haven't been looking too hard at the answers. I feel like by holding the book, I've had the advantage.
Beneficent.
What
Generous
is
or doing good.
beneficent?
A beneficent landowner. Resulting in good. A beneficent democracy.
I was not picturing it spelled like
Beneficial,
that. Yeah.
sort of.
In my head, I was not picturing it spelled like that for some reason.
It comes from the Latin beneficus, meaning favourable or generous, but also the Latin benefacere, do good.
That's ridiculous, and I'm sure that's a lie that it comes from both.
Yeah, probs.
But no, yeah, for some reason I was picturing it spelled differently in my head, and that completely messed with my ability to see that as an option.
Beneficent.
Damn words.
Beneficent.
Trying to spell things in your brain.
Beneficent. All right, I'm finding one more. All right, I'm gonna give a puzzle to Danny now. That's the same page. Ugh.
Old classic?
No, one of those optical. There's an optical illusion in here.
Oh.
In the shadow of the tower. Strange phenomena occur in the shadow of the tower. What difference do you see between square A and square B?
no.
And they've got one of those checkerboard grids.
Yeah, with
and they put
some
a shadow
shadows
over
on
it,
it.
where the white checker and the black checker that is not in the shadow are going to
Yeah, they
technically
look
be the
very
same
different.
color, even though your brain interprets one as white and one as black, because it's
Of the
you're trying
shadowy
to
things
account
you've
for the
done around
shadow
it.
in your mind's eye.
Yep.
It's a whole optical illusion. It's one of those ones where even though you know the solution, it's impossible to see.
It's not impossible to see if, as you are doing right now, the way you're holding the book for me, the page is on a slight diagonal. Look at
Ooh.
it from a slanty diagonal.
I'm going to look at this from a slanty diagonal.
Now, I looked at it from the other slanty diagonal.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
wild. If I have it here,
Yeah.
impossible to see. If I twist the book like 45 degrees
Yeah,
that way,
that was
it's
how I
now
was looking at it.
super obvious that they're the exact same
Uh-huh.
color. How funny. So you can mess with that optical illusion until you can see it, but we're not doing that one. Instead, we're doing this university puzzle.
Okay.
It's called University.
I went to university.
At university, a professor poses a problem for the young scholars he is teaching. 1, it is better than God. 2, it is worse than the devil. 3, the poor have it. 4, the rich need it. 5, and if you eat it, you'll die. A classic puzzle that has been told for millions of years. You know this one, right?
Yeah, it's a couple of things.
Yeah, a couple of things.
I mean, a couple of
A
things.
couple of things are better than God, a couple of things are worse than the devil. Poor have a couple of things. The rich need probably a couple of things. And if you
Yeah.
need only a couple of things, you'll die.
Uh-huh.
Because you need more than just a couple of things.
Medicine. Medicine's pretty great and terrible if you eat it wrong.
Yeah. The answer's a couple of things. Cool.
Yeah.
The answer is nothing, everybody. The classic answer is nothing.
Couple of things.
It's a classic little fun puzzle. We've done it before. It's probably in a Nancy Drew somewhere.
Hmm.
It's one of those fun little puzzles. Classic puzzle.
Again, just don't dig too deep into the logic of it.
I mean, most of these puzzles
Poor
are
have
just...
nothing and rich need
It's
nothing.
so interesting making a puzzle book because it's right. Most of these puzzles are just puzzles that are in every other puzzle
Yeah.
book, and it's just the selling point of this one is it's the same puzzles you know and love, but we've given it a vaguely medieval theme.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
such an
it's
odd
a nice
idea.
theme. But yeah, it's curious.
You know, everybody, soon in March you'll all have an opportunity to make your own puzzles.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention this properly on when our first episode proper comes out. But hey, you just think about that. In March, we'll all be making puzzles. Yeah, this is meaningless to you now, but it'll make sense soon. How about this ridiculous picture? I'm going to have you describe a picture in a second to our
All
audience
right.
at home because it's great. Especially because you're going to have no idea. I'm going to try and have you guess what the picture is going to be, and then you can describe to the audience how wrong you
Sure.
were. So the question is, it's called addition. And it
Helpful.
is, how can you make 1,000 from a sum containing only 8s? So how do you make 1,000 from a sum containing only 8s?
You'd really assume that there'd be a bunch of 8s and maybe the word sum. I don't know what illustration could possibly go with this.
Well, why don't we take a second? You can solve the puzzle first. How do you make 1,000 from a sum containing only 8s? This one I've never heard before. It's a new puzzle to me. Presumably, 1,000 is not divisible by 8. Can you turn the 8s on their side to be infinities? Does that help?
I mean, if it were me and like we're playing a bad version of the 4s game, I'd do 8 divided by 8.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And
That's
then I
one.
would do 8 minus 8.
That's 0.
And then 8 minus 8.
Yep, that's
And then
fair.
8 minus 8.
Okay, I like that.
That's a few sums.
That's a reasonable solution. Let's check what the solution actually is on page 299, everybody. Oh, no, apparently you can just do it.
Oh, just with maths?
8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 88 plus 888.
Aw.
So, yeah, we just got to figure it out. It's not
Mine
really,
was better.
Yeah, yours is better. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 88 plus 888.
Okay.
So, yeah, there is some divisible
know.
number there. There you go. That's fine. Now that you know the answer, you know the question, what is the picture?
I don't... What?
Take a
Why does
guess.
it even have a picture?
Take a guess at what the picture might be.
It's a bunch of drunk knights sitting around a table.
No,
What?
no, not at
Okay.
all. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
There's only one creature
Okay.
present.
A weasel.
Close enough. Why don't you describe it to the audience at home?
Well, I said I pictured a bunch of 8s, and I suppose there are a bunch of 8s.
Yeah, please try and give a detailed description of this picture.
Okay, what we have here is clearly mammalian because it has hair. It also is an ungulate. It has two-toed hooves. Oh, no, wait. Ungulates are
It has
boring
cloven
hooves.
hooves.
It's got 2 toe hooves. 4 of them.
It kind of looks like a pig.
It has no neck.
No neck.
A long ear like a floppy dog. A drastic underbite. And the trunk of an elephant with a very short trunk, out of which is coming a giant snot bubble that says 1000.
And its fur.
And its fur is covered in 8s.
8s. And it's got a kind of like a smug look.
Oh, smug is exactly the
It's
word
the
I was going to
smuggest
say
little-
for it.
Okay, so it looks like when if you describe the day that you went to the zoo to see a tapir.
Mm.
And before that people told you what a tapir was and you pictured an animal in your head, this is the animal you picture.
That's true.
Oh, it's like a squat sort of pig thing with an elephant trunk. Great. I'm done. And then you get to a tapir and you're like, nah, that's not what it was.
If anyone wants to try to draw this, we will tell you how close you have
Yeah,
gotten.
you know what? We're not going to show you this picture in any form, but if you draw what you think we've described, we will rank them in terms of closeness somewhere. Next episode, maybe. I don't know. Send us some pictures of this 8 to 1,000 snot bubble elephant pig with hair, a smug face, an underbite, and cloven hooves, and we'll be ready to have a look. All right, are we done with this puzzle book today? We just want to talk about this little puzzle book. One more good puzzle.
Oh, man. Serfs. A great lord is invited to visit his cousin, the Duke of Burgundy. Wanting to impress her guest, Lady Marguerite the Duchess declares, "There are more than 100 serfs working on my husband's lands." The young Eudes, son of the Duke, retorts, "Oh, not at all. I'm sure there are less than 100 serfs." Blanche, the daughter of the Duke, adds, "I am myself sure there is at least one." If only one of these statements is true, how many serfs work on the Duke of Burgundy's lands? More than 100, less than 100, at least one.
But only one can be true? So let's think. If there's more than 100, well, there is at least one. They have no serfs.
Surely it has to be 0, right?
They have 0 serfs, which is less than 100. There are no workers.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
the only way that can be true. Because let's have a look. If there are more than 100 serfs, then 2 of them would be correct, at least one and
Yeah.
more than 100. If there is some number less than 100, but still some, then 2 would be correct, at least one and less than 100. So it has to be 0,
Yeah.
in which the only correct answer is less than 100.
Cool.
How did
And
they get that so wrong?
That's
These
pretty
are the
bad.
worst lords ever.
Bad
but at
liars.
least, but you know what? At least, right? These are terrible lords who don't care about their serfs. But at least they don't have any serfs, so they're not mistreating anybody.
It's not so much
They're
about the
just delusional.
mistreating of serfs, it's the blatant lying. They are going to be gaslighting this dude.
They have no serfs. They're serfless.
Oh, I'm sorry, you just didn't see them all. Every single one of them.
There's-
They just walked past.
There are 100 of them, but they keep hiding whenever you turn around. Oh, there they are. They're right behind you.
Ah.
Oh, they jump behind those barrels there. All 100 of the serfs. Sorry, my lord. This is ridiculous.
That's really wild.
Oh, their names? Why, of course, there's Gregory, Arthur, Gregory, John, Gregory, lots of Gregorys. In fact, they're all Gregory. 100 Gregorys we have here.
All right, last one, and I'm sure this one's going to be easy. I'm just really curious about the question that they've applied to it. So tell me if you can guess what the question is, which is also the title. Okay. Dame Bertha is 21 years older than her son. In 6 years, he will be 5 times younger than his mother. What do you think the question is? That's all the information. What do you think the question is?
Hold on. Give me that information again.
No, I don't want you to start working it out yet. Dame Bertha is 21 years older than her son. In 6 years, he will be 5 times younger than his mother.
Okay. The question is, how old is the mother?
I wish that it does not start with how. It starts with where, which is wild enough.
What? Where are the father? Where is the father?
Where is the father in this equation?
What?
Okay, so let's see if the math somehow reveals, I don't know, there clearly was no father.
Okay, give me the wording one more time.
Dame Bertha is 21 years older than her son. So B equals S plus 21. In 6 years, he will be 5 times younger than his mother.
How do you be 5 times younger than someone? A fifth of the age?
What?
How can you be 5 times younger than a person is my thought.
I think that's what they mean. I think they mean 1/5 of their age.
So we have B equals S plus 21, and S plus 6 equals B over 5.
B plus 6 over 5, surely.
You're right.
Cool. And where is the father in this equation? My only guess is that we work it out that the son is 0, so the father is in bed with her right now.
Let's find out.
That's all I can get.
I think you're right. I think you're going to be correct. I think that's it. But let's have a quick check.
Sure.
So B equals S plus 21. S plus 6 equals B plus 6 over 5.
Cool. You might need to do some rearranging of that.
Do we want to... what do you want to sub in? Do you want to sub in...
Oh, I wouldn't do any subbing
Nothing?
in yet. I'd get rid of the fraction.
Okay, so 5S plus 30 equals B plus 6.
Cool.
All right? So 5S plus 24 equals S plus 21.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
4S is equal to... Wait, I'm very confused. Yeah, that looks like S is negative. I'm very confused. Maybe I've forgotten how to do maths. It's been a while.
No, keep going.
Okay, sorry. So 5S plus 24 equals B, which means 5S plus 24 is equal to S plus 21, which means like...
Keep going.
Okay. So I take the S's to one side and I get 4S equals negative 3. So S is equal to negative 3 over 4. So they're not born yet? She's still pregnant?
Negative 3 over 4 of a year
is 9 months.
Exactly.
So about to be
Pre-9 months.
So negative 9 months old.
The answer they have gone with in large letters is extremely close.
All right.
Which I think is fabulous.
I'm done. I'm going. You guys, I'll see you next week.
This is how maths makes funny.
Bye, everybody. See you later. Have fun with your lives. I don't want to even talk to anybody. This was a bonus episode. You know, it's not a... Yeah, if you want to support the show, sign up
You want
to
to do more puzzles or provide your own puzzles, go onto our Discord because people are doing that all the time. It's great. I don't participate so much in the Discord, but occasionally Bill shows me a good puzzle that we found there, and damn, you guys are good.
So there you are, everybody. Have fun. See you later. Next week, there'll be something else that we don't know yet what it is, but it's going to happen. And then soon...
Then it's a real episode again.
And then I think it'll be... Is that true?
Yeah.
See you later. Have fun. Bye.